Whatever it is, we typically do it better, more efficiently, and more effectively than in the past. We improve our capabilities through practice, iteration, and research, with few exceptions. As a general principle, I think this is easily demonstrable, quantifiable, and I think it's well established. With that in mind, one of the largest contradictions of ancient Egypt, and indeed of other megalithic locations like the Sacred Valley of Peru, is that it seems this basic principle of technological progression is somehow reversed, or at the very least, does not hold true. Whether it's Egypt or South America, the most advanced monuments and artifacts, the most precise, the most difficult from a logistics perspective, are also somehow the oldest, the bottom layers, and somehow the product of the very earliest periods of these civilizations that they're credited to. This might not be such an issue if these layers existed in isolation, but they don't. The contradiction stems from the sheer technological disparity between the evident layers. And this huge gap is observable across different categories of artifacts, as well as in architecture, things like pyramids. The precision and craftsmanship of the pre-dynastic and early dynastic hardstone vases versus the alabaster or handmade industry of later times. The huge megalithic granite structures and single-piece columns of the Old Kingdom versus the cellular sandstone constructions of later temples. The precision-made single-piece stone boxes that go back to the early Old Kingdom versus the obviously handmade examples from later times. The difference between precision and handmade statues. The examples can and do go on and on. This huge gap in technological sophistication across certain ancient artifacts or architecture is a core tenet of my hypothesis that I call the tale of two industries, and there's quite a lot to it. I've covered it in multiple videos and presentations, most comprehensively in this recorded presentation on my channel titled, predictably, The Tale of Two Industries, and it's linked below if you want to get into it further. In any case, all that preamble is just to give some context for the points that I want to make as we explore the Black Pyramid. As mentioned, the Black Pyramid can be found at Dahshur, around 21 kilometers to the south of the Giza Plateau. Dahshur is better known today for the other pyramids found on this site, the massive stone pyramids known as the Bent and Red, with the Black Pyramid sitting just to the east of them and looking like some sort of eroded hill when observed from a distance. Attributed to the pharaoh Amenemhat III of the 12th dynasty of the Middle Kingdom, it's said to have been constructed around 1850 BC. With a solid core made up of mud bricks, the outside was originally cased in the same fine white Tura limestone as other pyramids, and it was apparently a true pyramid in shape. Today, nearly all of the casing stones are gone, with only fragments and remnants from quarrying remaining. John Shea Perring, who visited the site in 1839, stated, quote, "It is called by the Arabs Haram es-Soda, the Black Pyramid, and is now much destroyed, as it has afforded materials for the houses and tombs of the neighbouring village of Menshia." End quote. The most famous part of the Black Pyramid might not have ever actually been a part of it at all. One of the prime artifacts that is still housed and prominently displayed in the Cairo Museum is its capstone, the pyramidion or benben, that supposedly came from the Black Pyramid. Made from basalt, it was found nearby the structure in the year 1900 by Gaston Maspero, and it's been in the museum ever since, quite understandably because it's spectacular. Its good condition seems to indicate that it was never installed on top of the pyramid, where it might have been subject to some erosion or at least wear from wind and sand. Also, the name of the god Amun was chiselled out of Amenemhat's cartouche, which was most likely done during the reign of Akhenaten in the 18th dynasty, around 1350 BC, when he tried to change the religion of ancient Egypt, a change that was reversed on his death. Akhenaten is a whole other story for another day, but if this 4.5-ton pyramidion was on top of the pyramid with its casing stones, it would have been very difficult to access it in order to hammer off a part of a god's name. It'd be like trying to climb the Bent Pyramid, or climb up to the top section of the Middle Pyramid at Giza, both of which still have their steep and very smooth Tura limestone casing. This pyramidion was most likely housed nearby to the pyramid, perhaps in the pyramid temple, and it was defaced there by Akhenaten's stone carvers. Back to the monument itself, Even though it's made from mud bricks and not from stone, it's still quite an impressive logistical achievement. Dieter Arnold estimated around 20 million mud bricks were involved in the construction of the pyramid and of the surrounding enclosure walls. The structure, when cased, would have had a base length of 105 metres and a height of 75 metres, 344 and 246 feet respectively. The first modern excavation work here was undertaken by Jacques de Morgan in 1892 as part of his overall work at Dahshur, and all of the extensive work to dig out and clear the passages and chambers beneath the pyramid was completed by Dieter Arnold and the German Archaeological Institute in 1983, almost a century later. De Morgan dug more than 200 metres of tunnels over 100 days into and through the body of the pyramid before finding stone slabs that turned out to be part of the ceiling of the substructure. He spent several seasons at the Black Pyramid, but didn't uncover all of the passages and chambers. That didn't happen until Dieter Arnold's work in the 1980s. If we rotate De Morgan's plan so that the north is facing up, we can compare it to Dieter Arnold's plan, which shows the addition of the whole southern section of the underground. Many thanks and credit as always to Keith Hamilton for creating this coloured plan in his layman's guide. The Black Pyramid is today not open to the general public, but it is possible to arrange special permissions to enter it, or more correctly, to enter below it. As far as we know, there is nothing inside the superstructure of mudbrick itself. The entrance to the underground is on the eastern corner and is kept bricked up with masonry. In order to access it, the keepers and the ministry personnel have to unbrick it for us, and power for the lighting is provided via a smoky old generator.
As you can see, my friend, the entrance is sealed with blocks. So every time we have a private location, the workers remove these blocks, and when we leave, they gotta build it again.
So they seal it up with blocks and they literally remove the blocks for us.
Yeah, good.
Thanks. Hot? Phew, that's so hot.
خليها بس مكانها ورا الباب كده عشان هو طالع.
So yeah, the whole underground here was extremely hot and humid.
So entering the Black Pyramid, quite warm. Although it's getting a little better.
Yeah, that's humid. Holy shit.
It's probably going to get better as we go down though. I bet it gets a little cooler.
No, it really didn't.
So what is this, limestone blocks or limestone bedrock?
Original limestone ceiling.
Original limestone ceiling.
Restoration.
Walking down into the substructure of the Black Pyramid, you might immediately notice a significant difference between this descending passage and those of the megalithic stone pyramids. This one seems to have actually been designed for humans. We are walking down it upright, and there are stairs cut into the floor of the passage. Compare that to any of the ancient megalithic stone pyramids and their entrance passages. I've been inside pretty much all of them, and it's a huge difference. The Bent, the Red, the Great Pyramid, the second and third pyramids at Giza, the Meidum Pyramid, even the stone satellite pyramids, they all have a far more difficult entry passage. Typically, they're between 3 to 4 feet square, with the Bent Pyramid being the tightest of them all. Yusuf likes to say that they call it the Bent Pyramid because that's how your back will be after you visit it. In all of them, the angles are much steeper, and we, in modern times, had to add in the wooden stairs as well as the handrails to aid in access. You have to do the pyramid crouch walk to go down them, or go down backwards at an angle.
Yeah, me too.
These passages would be very difficult to navigate without the handrails or the wooden floor. It'd be more of a slide than anything. And once you go down these passages, how exactly are you going to get back out? Better hope you tied a rope at the top. Otherwise you're going to have to brace yourself against the side of the passage and basically climb out. It really does not seem like these passages, or even the entire interior of these great stone megalithic pyramids, were ever designed for humans. Let's consider the Great Pyramid for a minute, and let's do so from the Orthodox perspective. Zahi Hawass and the rest of mainstream Egyptology all want to insist that King Khufu built it and then was subsequently buried in it. Fine, let's step through some of that process then. I'd imagine, given the dynastic Egyptians' focus on the afterlife, when a pharaoh dies, it's kind of a big deal. Pomp, ceremony, priests, music, the works. The whole thing is a tomb complex after all, right? So, ceremony in the Valley Temple, a lengthy procession up the causeway, a whole lot of ritual and ceremony over many days as his body is mummified and prepared with excruciating detail for the afterlife at the mortuary temple. And then what? We've got to get him into the actual tomb, yes? So how exactly does that happen?